Well, I certainly deal with creative blocks all the time. I used to not, but now I do because I think I have so much. I've overcommitted to so many projects, and so sometimes I'm just like I don't even know where to start. But I read a lot. I go to theater. I do a lot. I go to museums. I engage with art a lot in a lot of different forms. And that actually helps me find new ideas and fresh ways of thinking and fresh ways of seeing the world. And I wish more creative people understood that you have to read as much as you write to be a good writer. I mean, you may not do that, and whatever works for you works for you. But the best writers are also avid readers, in my opinion. And so for me, it's just I just surround myself with creativity as often as I can. And I also watch a lot of trash television, a lot. And it's great. And it's okay to just like let go. And like when I just hit a wall, sometimes I hit a wall and I just recognize nothing more is going to happen in this essay tonight. So I'm going to go watch Vanderpump Rules. And that helps.
Speaking of consuming a lot of art, there's a huge stack of books behind you that a number of people have commented on.
Yeah.
To that end, Aaron on Facebook wants to know, is there something inspirational that's in your head right now, either that you are reading or that you're crafting?
I am actually writing an essay for the New York Times. The piece I wrote last week was called No One's Coming to Save Us. Remember, no one's coming to save us. And so this week's piece is called How We Save Ourselves. And so I've been looking at everything that's going on, and I've just been thinking about maybe this is different. And so here's what we can do in this moment. We have to, and it's just a piece about how we have to sustain this moment and how you can't just be like reaching out to Black people today. You have to, like right now, a lot of people online are like, read books by Black women. And I'm like, you should be doing that every day. That's like not something you should only do during Black History Month or when you're feeling guilty about racism. You should read it because we're excellent writers. And so, and that's the kind of piece that I'm working on right now. And it's actually inspiring me because I don't think that Black people need to come up with solutions to end our own oppression because we didn't create it. But it's nice to think about sort of looking ahead instead of looking in the ground.
All right, the last thing I want to cover, it's along the lines, the arc of your career and all of the different media and how you've been successful in so many things with Here to Slay, with your podcast. Season 1 just ended. Tell me there's more.
There is. Season 2 starts on June 30th. So we're in pre-production right now. We've actually done a couple recordings. We are actually, Tressie and I are thinking about putting out an episode before June 30th simply because so much is happening that we just don't think we can wait that long. Our producers, for some reason, are dragging their heels. So we're trying to figure that out right now, the logistics of getting an episode out now. But it's been interesting. I think a lot of people think anyone can do a podcast, that you just need a microphone and a computer. And there's a steep learning curve. And our learning curve was very steep. We had to fire our first production company because racism. And it's been a lot. But we've learned a lot. We got a couple of awards, which was surprising. And I think we're really looking forward to seeing what we can accomplish with our second season. And it's just sort of expanding now that we know a little bit more about the podcasting world. We have really strong producers that we learn a lot from who have been doing this for some time. And so it's nice to be doing something new and learning something new. It's just, yeah.
And Debbie might be able to give you a few pointers, probably.
I'm only married to someone who's very good at podcasting and has been for 15 years. But
for 15 years.
I know, it's amazing. Sometimes I tell her a podcast problem and she gives me an answer immediately. It's really
I had the good fortune of being on her show once, and I've watched a few of them live when I'm rolling through New York. It's such a treat. Well, we'll look for more from you in the podcast world with Here to Slay. I wanted to say thank you so much for retracing so many of your steps in your creative career, your creative process, the current time we're in right now. One last ask is there anything that you would prescribe to anyone who's listening right now? Just open-ended. The mic is yours. I think people know where to find you. You are rgay at Twitter, where you're very active. Roxane Gay at Instagram. Is that correct, I think?
Roxane Gay 74.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One N for everyone out there. But just if you have the mic and we're looking for advice from Roxane Gay, what can you tell us?
I don't know. I think that you should make sure that you don't stop thinking about racism and its persistent and pernicious effects this week. Like, you have to carry it forward. And so I think that every person watching this should map out for themselves, even write it down on a piece of paper. What are you going to do for the rest of the year and into next year to keep the momentum of this moment going?
Thank you so much for being on the show and for sharing and for giving us your time. We'll make sure that this gets seen far and wide. Grateful for all of your work, and thanks for the time today.
Awesome. Thank you, Chase.
Everybody in the world, make sure to check out Roxane. She's probably got a few new books coming out, knowing how. What are the dates on those so we know when we can keep an eye out for the releases?
My book, How to Be Heard, will be out in spring 2021, and my YA novel, The Year I Learned Everything, will be out in fall 2021.
And if you're like me and you can't wait that long, the podcast just starts in 20 days.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much, Roxane. Really appreciate you being on the show.
If you're feeling isolated and looking for creative connection, try tuning into creativelive.com/TV. That's where we've got a 24/7 live stream from the kitchen counters.
I can do that backlit shot that I really like to do.
From the studios and living rooms of many of the world's top creators, where we're doing musical performances, Q&As, cooking shows, virtual book tour events, drawing, spoken word poetry, and more.
Life passed me by waiting for an invitation when the world is greater than my nation or my occupation. Be someone you've never been. You feel all that adrenaline? It's medicine.
It actually helps me feel like my days are more purposeful.
I hope that out of this deep pain will come some collective growth.
Dive into Creative Live TV today.